Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, was John Salley dead wrong for disrespecting Michael Jordan? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you go ahead and check out Dreamerspro Max, an online sports community place where you can go and start basketball discussions, chat live during games, so many other cool things. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the description below. And also make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel to receive loyalty badges from us. So anyway, let me get into this topic here. So we recently did a video, Scottie Pippen recently did an interview on the Dan Patrick Show where he came out there and said some pretty inflammatory things, right? He basically went after Phil Jackson and he went after Michael Jordan. One of the things he had to say about Phil Jackson was that Phil Jackson is a racist. He said that Phil Jackson was a racist, something I thought was just, first of all, was like a bombshell to me, right? And the reason he felt that Phil Jackson was a racist was very vague and really not convincing. The first reason he felt that Phil Jackson was a racist was because he drew up a play for Tony Kukoc at the end of a game to take the final shot, and Scottie Pippen felt offended because he'd been here for all of these years. He was there when the program first started. Michael Jordan, he's like, Michael Jordan is gone, and I can't get one shot, and all of these different things. So because of that, he felt that Phil Jackson was a racist, and I'm like, wait a minute. So all of those times he drew up plays for Michael Jordan over you, he was a racist, number one. Number two, why didn't I hear anybody else mention that Phil Jackson is a racist? Of all the players that he's coached, all the players he's been around, all of them, the litany of them, I've never heard anybody say anything like this. You're the only person that I've heard say something like this. That's number one. Number two, the other reason he gave for Phil Jackson being a racist was, well, I was around him and I was coached by him, so therefore he's a racist, right? I was like, okay, this is absurd. And everybody pushed back on him for saying that. Secondly, he said some things about Michael Jordan, saying that Michael Jordan was basically doing things for the camera. He was just basically saying that, listen, Jordan was the greatest, but, I played my role. And I said this, and I said this in that video, and I said, Michael Jordan, I've heard Michael Jordan on numerous occasions say that there's no way he wins those 6 championships if Scottie Pippen is not his teammate. But I've never heard Scottie Pippen say the inverse of saying, oh, I would have never won those 6 titles if it wasn't for Michael Jordan. Right? I never heard, Scottie Pippen say that. And then obviously Scottie Pippen had a book to sell, right? And a bourbon to sell. So he was out there saying anything. And listen, it worked because it got the attention of a lot of people, and a lot of people up in arms. And obviously people are talking about what he said in the book, and people are going to want to know, well, if this is just an appetizer, what's inside the book? What's the main course? What are the different entrees that this guy has inside this book? So from a marketing standpoint, it's definitely working because it's getting a lot of attention, for good or bad, and controversy sells. And people are gonna, when his book comes out, people are definitely gonna read what he wrote in the book, and most likely, people are gonna talk about some of the things that he said in the book. It's just gonna be just the way that it works. So from a marketing standpoint, it's genius, but I think a lot of the things that he said was just inflammatory. So I had to go back a while back, and I remembered an interview of John Salley talking about Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, comparing the two. And I remember John Salley saying that, in his opinion, Scottie Pippen is the more skilled basketball player. So for those of you guys who have never heard this, or just maybe new to this, or maybe heard it and need a refresher, I want to play the audio for you guys so you guys can take a listen to some of the things that he had to say as far as why he believes Scottie Pippen was the more skilled player than Michael Jordan. So before I go too far, take a listen to him speaking about that.
Since you've been on,
yes,
the most polarizing thing that you said was that Pippen is a more skilled player than Michael Jordan.
Did I say the most skilled player I played with, or the most skilled player?
Most skilled player that you played with, but you've also played with Michael Jordan. So
right. So my rebuttal to that, Michael Jordan, I go back and I watch. Michael Jordan is great.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get that to any and everybody watching. This is true. He is the second coming. But before him, I was in love with Dr. J.
Mm.
So Michael Jordan is Dr. J to people of that era. But to my era, Dr. J.
Yep.
David Thompson, Bernard King. Those are my favorites. My contemporaries, Michael Jordan. He's 2 years before me. I went to see him 1982 when I went to visit Georgia Tech. I'm like, I'm going to Georgia Tech. Been friends, frat brothers, Omega Psi Phi to the day we die, everything. It's my man's. But I talk to him as my contemporary. I don't talk to him as Jesus Christ or the God. I just don't.
Right.
And he knows that I know he's great. He knows that. He knows, but I'm gonna still, this is money. This is MJ. This is my man right here. Money, you want such, that I don't see it like other people have seen it. I've hung with him. I've played with him. I've socialized with him. We rode the GOAT. Like everything you can possibly, we know the same morals, the same jewels, the same 20 pearls. This is my guy. This is my friend. But when you watch, when you're a basketball player and you're playing against everything, and the fact that you're on YouTube, you can go on YouTube and see what Michael says about Scotty, see what Magic says about Scotty, Jack McCluskey, the general manager of the Detroit Pistons, how we thought we're just going to shut Michael down. We realized we had to shut Scotty down, right? Mm-hmm. Horace Grant, Charles Barkley. Did I mention Michael Jordan, what he says? So, skilled. He plays point guard, shooting guard, small forward, big forward, and center. He can guard anybody on the court. He's Dennis Rodman. Can dribble the ball, right-handed, left-handed. The fundamentals are built into his swag. Like this is a basketball machine. You know who he's like? He's like David Robinson, who we don't mention it, right? Why we don't know. He's as smart and as crafty as Stockton. Mm-hmm. He shoots the long ball. So before Kevin Durant was stopping and shooting the long ball, it was Sam Perkins, it was Bill Laimbeer, it was Jack Sikma. But this small forward would come down, who you're thinking should go all the way to the hoop, hit you with three. If you don't guard him, you guys are doubling Michael, hit you with the three. We got a problem. So in skill, picking up the triangle offense, which people say is easy, picked it up as if he designed it. So this is a basketball machine in Scottie Pippen. He is. He's the Native American black that is killing anybody on court.
Now, in that soundbite, John Salley kind of sums it up by saying, Scottie Pippen could play all positions. He could play the 1 to 4 to 5, 3 to 4 to 4 and 5. He can do more things on the court and all of these different things, right? And that's his reason for saying that Scottie Pippen is more skilled than Michael Jordan. Now, listen. Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest the top 50 players of all time. He's a super accomplished basketball player, 6-time champion, 7-time All-Star Game MVP. He's been on 7 All NBA teams, 10 All Defensive teams, 8 First Defensive teams, and led the league in steals in 1995, right? But Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. I mean, just to reiterate the point here, he's a 6-time champion, 6-time Finals MVP, 5-time regular season MVP, 14-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star Game MVP, been on 11 All-NBA teams, 10 First All-NBA teams, won a Defensive Player of the Year in 1998, 9 All-First Defensive Team selections. He was a Rookie of the Year. He's a 10-time scoring champion, and he led the league in steals 3 separate times. He has the highest overall scoring average in the regular season and the playoffs, and has never even played in a Game 7 in his career. That's Michael Jordan. And back to John Salley's comments. I think, this is just my thoughts, I think these are the type of comments, or these are the type of things that's making Scottie Pippen say these things about Michael Jordan that he's saying. Scottie Pippen is hearing these type of comments out there, and he's like, yeah, I'm that important. Listen, Scottie Pippen is a fantastic player, but it's absurd to say that he's more skilled than Michael Jordan. It's just absurd to say that. Why? Scottie Pippen was asked to do different things than Michael Jordan was. He was asked to distribute the ball, play defense, all of these different things, right? Jordan wasn't asked to do that. Jordan was asked to be the primary scorer. Now, the question I have for you is, do you honestly believe that if Michael Jordan was asked to do some of the things that Scottie Pippen did, do you think that Michael Jordan couldn't do it? Like, let's just be honest. Do you think Michael Jordan, if they were asked him to be the primary ball handler, he couldn't work on his ball handling abilities and lead the team in assists? Do you think if they asked Michael Jordan to be the primary defender and the best player every single night, you don't think he could do it? For goodness sakes, Michael Jordan has a Defensive Player of the Year award. I think Scottie Pippen was Scottie Pippen. If we look at his career, he was selected to 8 all-first defensive teams. Jordan was selected to 9. So for a 9-year period, he was the best player at his position. It's not like as if Scottie Pippen was a more elite defender than Michael Jordan. It's just that Jordan was such an amazing scorer. We don't even focus on his defense. There's an argument to be made that Michael Jordan was the best two-way player ever. Literally, ever. Like certainly he's the best offensive player if we look at his production per season. And then if you look at his defense, an argument could be made that he was probably the best two-way player of all time, right? So I think a lot of this comes from this thing of people throwing rocks at the throne. I think people are trying to find different ways to bring Jordan down from his GOAT status, and it's not working. They tried on different networks. They've done it for decades or years. It's not working. And I think this is just another attempt, right? I just think that those comments were just not, I'm just not vibing with those comments. There's no way you can say that Scottie Pippen was more skilled. You can say Scottie Pippen was one of the most skilled players in NBA history. No one is going to argue with you with that. But to say that he was the most skilled, he was more skilled than Jordan. I haven't even mentioned mental intangibles yet. I haven't even talked about Michael Jordan's clutch ability to deliver in the clutch. I haven't even spoken about that. That's not skill. Your ability, the way you think, the way you process the game, the way you handle, the way you process difficult situations. That's not an ability. So I just completely disagree with those comments, and I just feel like people are just trying to find ways to disrespect Jordan. But the fact of the matter is, it's just not working. It's just not working, unfortunately. So for these guys. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about John Salley's comments, and what do you think about this entire discussion of Scottie Pippen being more skilled than Michael Jordan? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.